It's live, pal. Hi, everyone. Marauders issue number 10 review. Let's talk about it. So, this comic was just about everywhere. We touched on everything. I forgot I gotta speak into the middle of the mic. So, we spoke about everything in the comic book that the Marauders were dealing with. We dealt with the Kate Pride stuff. Actually, let's start there at the end of the book. Because Gold Balls says over here, yo, with all due respect, sir, I don't think it's us who are doing anything wrong. I just don't think Kitty can be resurrected. Professor X caves. Professor X says, okay then, I will inform the White Queen of my decision. The bottom of the text it says, next, a funeral for a mutant. Wow, she's really dead. I actually believe it now. Not true. I was being facetious. She'll be back, but they tried. They also, over here at the side, it's kind of funny. The release dates are all for April, as if it's not May 30th right now. So I guess this book was printed first, and it was chilling in Diamond Comics, and because Diamond stopped doing comics, they were just like, okay, we can reprint them just so that these release dates make sense, or we can just let the books come out. I'm sure the same order will be respected and honored because stories got to make sense. Maybe something happens over here that needs to be addressed over here, so they do got to be in order. Whatever. I'm spending a little bit too much time on that aspect of the storytelling. Okay, this aspect of the storytelling. So we meet Tempo, who's like, what? That you're a thing? We meet Tempo. We meet with Forge and Storm. I know they were a thing. And we learned about Daniels. But then we get to this page, right? It's a white page. It's introducing the characters. So tell me why we had to do that, get some more pages of the Quiet Council, and then go back to another intro page. That was strange to me. I'm not hating on it, right? It's something that happened. The actual white pages of this book were creative. The first one was a note from Kate to Kurt. Did she call herself Kate? Yeah, it says Kate on the top of the inbox. The second one that Kurt was given to Kate was more interesting to me because of the way that Gerry Duggan is the guy who wrote it, but he made me feel like I was inside the character when Kurt explains that when they immigrate here, I'm sure you see them and they're all panicky, blah, blah, blah. But once they come here, just know that there's a whole lot of light, there's a whole lot of emotion, and there's like a person over here who actually enjoys living here, is what he said, paraphrasing. Why paraphrase if I have the book right in front of me, though? I've met some of the mutants that the Hellfire Trading Company has delivered to our home. They are young, old, they are curious, loving, and hopeful people. I know you only meet them during stressful evacuations, but I thought you should know that when they arrive on the island, they blossom. It is all made possible by the hard-fought victories of the Hellfire Bay. So Kurt saying that to her is exactly what the character would say if this was all real, and that's what I want from my Gerry Duggan comic books. From my comic books, and Gerry Duggan gets credit. It looks like we're gonna get Daniels golfing over here. This was a bit of a waste of a page, if you ask me. But I guess they needed to set something up. Maybe Mask is up to something in the future that we needed to return here to this golf course to remind us that he's out here. Maybe, I don't know. Well, we'll see where that story leads. The actual action part of it, I am everywhere with this review, right? So now I'm reversing. There's a UFO. Apparently, Emma has a UFO. And when Bishop asks her, yo, where'd you get that from? We don't get any answers. We just get that, well, it's a better story for another time. It's like Maz Kanata said in episode 7. But, okay, Bishop, you know what? I still don't like you for what you did to Hope. And I'll never forgive you for that, Bishop. For hunting down Hope, Messiah War, wasn't it? Where Cable takes her to a future, and he comes a little bit later, and he comes a little bit later, trying to kill her year after year until she becomes a teenager. Bishop is dead to me. What's going on, Second Street Marvel? Did you read this page? What did you think of Emma's tatas over here? Oh, speaking of Emma. So right here, you see Pyro, the original Pyro. I remember saying, oh, look how cool it is, because now we can tell him apart from all the other blonde-haired characters like Captain America, like Eddie Brock. In another comic that I read this week, my point was proven. Like, this is what I was trying to tell you when I said that a few weeks ago. This is a picture of Thor, right? Blonde dude, Everything's in reverse. That's why I'm moving my fingers left when I should be going right. But you see Thor there. Tell me how he doesn't look exactly the same way as Eddie Brock does over here. He's got the same features, right? Remember, these are comic books, man. The only way you can tell these characters apart is from the extra stuff that they have. So for Bishop's case, he's got the M tattooed on his face, and that's why I know it's him, and it's not another dude with dreads in Marvel. But like the dreads also help, like the hair. That's why we got red heads and orange and all the different hair colors. But that's kind of what I meant when I saw this guy. Is it insensitive and is it wrong? I didn't notice that at the time, and I probably, if it was brought to my attention, and if we had an editing team, maybe somebody would have stopped that from happening. But it happened, and that's kind of me making my point. Also, every time Iceman is being written in here, he's amazing. The way that the glaciers come out and even the build up to it, like, wait a minute, we're not in the Arctic. This is supposed to be nice and warm over here. What's they're doing? And we see these two Omega powered Storm and Iceman just chilling on top of that iceberg over there. That was really epic. Artwork in here was fine, better than fine. I remember saying this, last note. I remember saying that artists are going to get a lot better in these next few comics. Now, obviously, with this one, I do believe it was chilling on Diamond Comics' on its in the warehouse, so this probably wasn't it. But the next comics that come afterwards, remember, they did not have a deadline for these artists. The color artists can take as long as they needed to get the color in. That being said, the artwork is probably going to be a whole lot better in these future stories. So keep in mind of that. That will be the review. Check out the podcast I do with Professor Bill, which will be out Sunday morning. And if anyone has questions, no one has questions. The only one who stopped by to write something was Second Street Marvel. And I appreciate that. Do your outro. What did you say in your outro? Join me here on the Second Street Marvel. Yeah. Okay, bye. And broadcast.